morning, Tommy.
I'm doing what we talked about.
In the Power Book 4, 4th Season 2 opener, Tommy Egan is back on the lam in Chicago. In the episode Tommy's Back, the character is still in shock about Liliana's passing and swears to exact the maximum amount of retribution. After the shooting that resulted in Liliana's murder at the end of Season 1, the Flynns go into hiding, and this eventually leads to their being sought after. The Flynns are at war with Tommy as a whole, but they are also at war with one another since Claudia and Vic Flynn disagree with their father Walter. Nevertheless, eliminating Tommy is the least of their concerns because Walter must figure out how to make up for the deaths of the Dublin men he requested to assist him in his attempt to eliminate Tommy. Vic and Claudia, on the other hand, make an effort to band together in an effort to overthrow their father and reassert their dominance over the local drug trade. Claudia soon experiences a turn for the worst after Tommy posts the Dahlia formula on the internet. Claudia then makes the mistaken decision to execute her chemist after believing that she divulged the recipe. Vic decides to break up with Claudia as a result of the chemist's murder, which was carried out without his consent. We can also observe that the conflict between Diamond and Jennard is still going strong on Tommy's planet. In the Season 1 finale, Diamond offered Jennard the opportunity to spare his life in exchange for splitting the CBI area in Chicago in half. With this deal, Diamond sees his brother and his team as yet another enemy while Jennard and his crew are still determined to eliminate their new rival. By seeing how each crew interacts with their drug supplier Miguel, we can tell which team is more organized between the two. Diamond and Tommy arrive with a duffel bag full of cash to pay for their own re-up, while Jennard approaches him and requests an extension on the funds for a re-up on merchandise. In the midst of all of this, the episode ends with federal detectives identifying Tommy Egan for the first time and connecting him to his background in New York. After all of that, let's take a look at the top power players according to this week's Power Book 4, 4th episode. The whole Flynn family is excluded off the list this week because they are unable to pick themselves up and move on following the gunfight that closed Season 1. Jennard is also off the list as gets off to a slow and shaky start as he tries to re-establish himself as a worthy leader in the Chicago drug game now that he has his own territory. He shows up to product re-ups short on cash and he gets beat up for failing to remove Tommy as a player in the Chicago drug game. So without further ado, here are the top 5 power players we have based on Tommy's back. D-Mac, Tommy's nephew, is eager to return to the streets despite having recovered from a gunshot wound sustained in the previous season. He had a high and low moment in this episode, but he really shines when he shares a sneaky approach to distribute merchandise via social media with Tommy. Viewers are able to learn what is being sold and where to get it by way of a succession of emojis that show on a post or video that is completely unrelated to the main goal. Tommy agrees to let D-Mac set things up from the couch for him and Diamond's team. It turns out to be a success, and Tommy is ecstatic about the money coming his way. The cops receive a spot on the power players list this week, but as supporters of Tommy Egan and his team, we don't want to give them too much praise because we ultimately want Tommy to win. Finally, they are able to place Tommy and learn more about his history in New York and relationship to James Ghost St. Patrick. It's about time they were able to locate Tommy, as it ought to have been the simplest task on their list. They are included on the list as a result of this action, which could create Tommy problems. But if it took them so long to find him, I can only imagine how long it will take them to capture him, or, to put it another way, find out where he resides. We get to meet a new character this week. The link between Tommy and Diamond's and Jennard's squads is Miguel Garcia, a violent and temperamental Mexican cartel boss. Due to his role as the connect for both sides, which results in double the money for him, he receives the 3rd rank on this list, above Tommy, Diamond, and Jennard. Yes, Tommy intends to eliminate him in order to seize control of the connect position, but it won't happen right away. Miguel can therefore continue to profit from having 2 clients in the same city and group for the time being. This week's runner-up is Diamond because of how helpful it is for him to be next to Tommy. He seems to work well with Tommy, and the two seem to get along well. Diamond and Tommy each contribute to the conversation, which benefits the crew as a whole. Since their relationship is now formal, Diamond is the one who arranges the appointment with Miguel this week to reorder merchandise and introduce Tommy to Miguel. Unsurprisingly, Tommy Egan is the featured guest this week. He employs a variety of strategies in this week's episode to keep himself and Diamond ahead of the opposition and to keep their opponents from impeding their advancement. In order to thwart Claudia's objectives, he tells Dahlia about the recipe, and he recruits D-Mac to assist him and Diamond's team in moving goods more covertly and to a larger audience. Even his relationship with Myria turns out to be advantageous because it enables D-Mac to get treatment right away when his gunshot wound becomes infected. In his quest to exact revenge for Liliana's passing, he also makes little headway. We'll simply have to wait and see how many excellent weeks Tommy Egan has during the rest of the campaign. For more videos about the Power Universe, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.